Hey, I got a dash cam that was sent to me by AKASO, if I pronounced that right. And this dash cam is the Trace 1. Before I get going too much on this specific dash cams, I've had quite a few through the years. And one thing that I do not like about dash cams is if they have hiccups or you got to reset them or they don't function right. I would say roughly half the ones I've ever had usually have something that ends up going wrong with them. So I've narrowed it down to maybe a couple different dash cams in my cars. And this one, I'm going to tell you right now, is going to end up probably being my main dash cam. I use this one in my vehicle I take to work every day. There's a couple reasons. One, reliability is just unreal on this thing. I've had it about a month. It has not even once hiccuped. Two, features are great. The other one, to do what it's supposed to do, is just take video. Doesn't necessarily have to be the greatest quality. This is 1080p in the front and rear. This camera's got, like I said, the front and the rear cam. You're covering 340 degrees of view on it, which, let me hit the specs quick on it. You might not be able to see that if my camera don't adjust, but I can quick read it off. Dual recording for the front and rear, 1080p both. You can run single recording on the front, which is up to 60 frames a second at 1080p. The night vision is great. The front has the Sony Starvis with no infrareds. You don't need them. The rear has Sony Starvis plus 4 infrareds, which lights up the inside of your vehicle. Unreal. Beautiful viewing angle for that rear one, I really like. The front one isn't too wide, which is great in itself. Like I said, 340 degrees of viewing angle. The hooking and unhooking this is quite easily, we'll cover that for installing it. It does have a built-in battery for up to 20 minutes of runtime. And where that 20 minutes comes in is it's got the parking mode to where if you got that on, if someone opens the door, which I've tested it out, it'll start recording and save that file. Or if you get hit with the G sensor, if you have an impact, it saves that file and locks it so you can't delete it till later. Usability is incredible on this camera. Turning it on, just one little switch on the side, and it will start recording if it's plugged in and you turn on your 12-volt power supply, or when your vehicle shuts off, that turns on and off, this thing goes right with it, so you're not even touching it ever. You can change to the front and rear quite easily, and if you're recording, like right now I just hit record on this, you can turn your park mode on and off. I run with it off because I live out in the country. I'm not worried about anybody taking my vehicle. You can turn your sound on and off with one button, and you can lock the footage with one button. Usability is just great. There's just 4 buttons on the bottom and your power button on the side. And if you were to hit the end button, you'll go into like video. Sometimes this thing, you're not going to be able to see it, but can't quite hold it quite right. Change your resolution. You're about a loop recording. The other one, loop recording, I didn't read up on it, but it doesn't stop recording then start another one where you miss a couple seconds. This actually picks up back onto the other one, so it's seamless loop recording, and that's good. And you can change your display to just the front or rear. On the front, you can do 30 frames and 60 frames, and on the rear is straight 30 frames. But you can do the dual recording, which I run it all the time, but I'm telling you right now, if you have an accident, you better be having your seatbelt on and not running a cell phone or something, because it will show you doing all that. Kind of makes you a better driver. But the people that have teens, teenagers and stuff driving cars, this would be so ideal. You can see everything. Pretty, like I said, 340 degree angle view. Night vision's great on this. It picks up pretty good in low light, actually real good. And as far as accessories, the mount, nothing spectacular. I've never had it fall off. And whoops, let's shut this thing off. You know what, it's raining out. I want to grab my kid quick, and he likes storms, so we want to see what we can find. Hold on.
Smile. Jump up in air once so I can see if this camera's going to take a picture of you. I'm not filming. I'm filming you.
All right, hit a nice little rainbow there. I'll throw that in. But as far as hooking this camera up, the mount is about as good as I've ever had. That's hooking it up, and that's unhooking it. and it plugs in with a mini USB, which comes with a 12-volt supply. There's a little red light that will come on that you can see that it's got power to it, and then you can plug a USB in behind it. And the cord, I don't know how long it is, but I'd have to say it's a good 10 feet or more. Way more than enough cord that you would need. Biggest thing with this camera is I haven't had a malfunction yet. It hasn't locked up or anything. Never had to reset it. I really like that. But what we're going to do is I'm going to leave you with showing the footage of this, what you can expect. Here's 60 frames a second. Here's 30 frames a second with both the front and rear camera on. This is 30 frames with just front view. Again, 30 frames a second just with the front view on. And this is just with rear view on. It is still dusk. Pretty much dark out yet. Heading into town now, front and rear view, 30 frames a second. Smaller town with some street lights. Pretty neat. But go ahead and check that link out down below on it. I'm impressed with it. I've gotten dash cams from companies to do reviews on and test out and that. And I'll quite honestly, if you don't see a video with me showing a camera on there, it's because there was something wrong with it. I didn't really care for it, had issues. I didn't want to put it on my channel. I have no issues doing this video for this camera. I really like it. If I had to buy it outright, now that I know about it, definitely would buy this camera. It's not real expensive and does everything you'd ask of a dash cam. You really can't go wrong with the thing. Really like it. And I've had it for probably a month now, and I've run it almost every day. So there you go. AKASO Trce 1. Oh, and it does take micro USB. I think up to 128 gigs. Pretty awesome little guy. There you go. Till next time.